Well, hello there. It's Colin, coming to you today with Ground of Aces. Maybe. We're going to start a brand new game because there have been some changes, and let me tell you that. It's going to be great. Bam. We can set our own map parameters. Look at that. How fantastic is this? The last time we were in Parentsport, I think, we were building those dual runways. And the very first time we had this on our channel, I think this was actually one of the very first games that I streamed. We were out on this one. But I think we're going to go back to Parentsport again. And let's take a little look at this. That's almost like a little, like, you're looking down at things. I like it. You guys can still see things. Yeah, perfect. All right. Parentsport. There we go. Crew members, we're going to boost this up because some new things have been added. Initial shipment amounts, we're going to do high. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Normal attacks, yeah. Harvest rate, yeah, we're gonna get some initial victory points. And just to get us started here, degradation rate, we can, none are default. HQ requirements, okay. Normal attacks. You know, let's go for that because some stuff has changed. Thank you about the shirt. I've got a baseball cap somewhere and a poster with a signed poster from the devs. Thank you, devs. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. But let's get started here. Brand new way, brand new day. Boy. It has been interesting. That is for sure. Absolutely for sure. Welcome, Commander. You've been allocated a plot of land to build up a new Royal Airfield. We supplied you with a ground crew and a shipment of starter resources to get you going. Establish your airbase capabilities. We will continuously supply you with weekly resource shipments. War supplies are currently in high demand, and make sure you gather and use natural resources in your vicinity efficiently to get started. Build up workbenches to refine natural resources to useful materials for your mission. It is up to you to be as efficient as possible in these dire times. Critical for airbase capabilities are three things: a designated runway of minimum tier and a free of obstacles. Parking spots for your planes in close takeoff vicinity, and sleeping quarters for pilots. Building these is your first task. As a base commander, the morale of your people is critical for success. Manage their confidence, energy, and mood by building up steady cooked food supplies, good sleeping quarters, and meaningful downtime activities for breaks. Should base morale reach a critical level, you will be stripped of your responsibilities. Once you've established your airbase capabilities, Once you have established your airbase capabilities, you will receive regular flight missions and weekly orders to do your part in winning the war. Remember, being successful in missions will be key to keeping up morale of your base. Good luck, Commander. Make the RAF proud. Royal Air Force. Perfect. All right. So, we're going to get started. We got quite a lot of people. And the last time, we had like 2 runways up this way. And we're going to go do the exact same thing. So, we got our people. Hello, people. Let's take a break. Take a break and take a look at what we have. We get a mini-map? I don't think we do. But this time I want to be a little bit more organized. Pardon. I'm going to take a sip of water here. And it's actual water instead of all the flavored stuff. How wild. I have that as well. We'll see. So the challenge with these guys is, you know, getting everything cleared away. But we should be fine. Alrighty. So today we will focus right here. Building tools. There we go. That's about it. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to ask. Destroy tool, yes. We're gonna take these things down. Or is it destroy or harvest? Can we harvest these? I think we can harvest these guys. Yeah, we can harvest these. What is the difference, you may ask? I don't know if you get resources back for these things. Look at these guys. Perfect. Ah! Those jerky, rude Germans always, you know, expanding for more Lebensraum. We're gonna get a fair amount of wood planks. I'm thinking we might as well we get cement buildings now. The last time we had brick buildings, so those are new. That's neat. We're gonna build little camps real quick. So we got 10 people. Let's make a little 15 by 5, 15 by 7s. Yeah, that sounds about right. We used to have these tents that are very similar when I was in the army, called temper tents. They've, I think, recently, or they've gone away from them at this point because they're so large and unwieldy. And yeah, they don't like them, which is only natural, you know, because they're aluminum framed. They have this really thick canvas, and what the modern combat support hospitals or field hospitals are going towards are a lot more of the blow up, rapid deployment kind of stuff, because it takes like for a 12 section, I think it's like 20 people to set up each tent, right? And it takes about an hour or maybe 2. Then you got to set all the other ones, you got to get them right. You've got like vestibules to connect everything, right? And it's just it's a huge mess, and it takes you, you know, a couple hours. It takes you like 8 to 12 hours to get everything set up. But they're nice. Oh man, I can't remember how many generators we had. We had 100K generators, I think. We had like 4 or 5 of those. We had a big old Hemet fuel truck. We were going around refueling every now and then. It was a sight to behold. Spectacle for sure. Alright, objects. What we need, what I have neglected, is a field kitchen. Okay? So this is important, because this is how we get our meals. I want you to prioritize this, and then we're going to need some trees. Trees for logs. Trees, I think, are one of the few resources that do respawn with the food. I have never exhausted a water source completely. Yeah, we shall see. We're not going to get any beds in today. I'm going to build a second one of these, and it is going to be right here. And it is going to be our supply tent. It's going to be a little bit bigger. Is that in the middle? Is that going to irritate me forever? Yeah, it is. Nope, it's in the middle. I'm smart. Something like that. Yeah. Got a little one over here. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. The reason why we do this is so all the materials don't decay. We're going to get, like, specific industries going. They're very important because in this update, we have ammo. We don't have any cement. These are going to be important, though. Yeah. They were going to eat. They're going to. We got pre-made rations, quite a bit of them actually. They're going to start deteriorating very fast. Then they're going to sleep in the ground. I can't tell you how many times I've made that to do that. Although we had a little like field cots because in Fort Bliss, where I was mostly sleeping outside, there's a lot of like critters and scorpions and snakes, and there's nothing more disturbing than waking up with a rattlesnake in your sleeping bag. It's not a good day. Okay, let me clarify that. There's nothing worse than having a rattlesnake in the sleeping bag with you when you wake up. That is quite dissatisfactory. All right, but yes, let us continue with the construction efforts. Following this, we are going to need some sleeping arrangements, some planks. You know what? I'm going to add a second door right here. I don't think windows actually do anything other than, you know, being objectively cool in visual things. But we'll see. These guys are tired because of the lack of proper sleeping spaces. So let us get a little bit of stuff in here. So that might be a... I might be going a little bit above and beyond in space requirements. This looks a lot more Army. I guess Air Force, Royal Air Force, but the Americans, they were staying at RAF bases in the war, right? So the only way to get airplanes properly out into the area was to fly them. So wild. Those notifications, you know what? I think, so what I'm going to do is, obviously I'm streaming on YouTube. By the way, how's the stream doing? How's the stability and everything? Because we have some new resolutions, a little bit better. You know, I'm streaming in, 1440p? Maybe you can see it? I don't know. Maybe I just look that much more handsome. It's true. But, yeah. We got we got it on YouTube and on Twitch, and I know on YouTube I am able to like pre-plan streams a little bit better, and I'm gonna try and do like a regular schedule. Thank you, Rebus. You look just as good, if not better, than always. I don't know what it is. You've got a special sparkle in your eye today. I saw it immediately. I dropped my brother off at the airport today. Gosh, had to get up at 1:30 in the morning. It was wild. You know, it's a good 2.5 hour drive to the airport. We left a little bit later than we thought. We got there at 5. There is no notification on YouTube, I think. I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna be honest. With the start of the semester, I have been slacking on the YouTube side of things. So yeah, he is over the North Sea right now. He was flying to Istanbul, and then I don't know if he's out in LA or where he is specifically, or San Diego, or if he flew to Sacramento. No, Sacramento doesn't make any sense. I think it's LA. But yeah, I can't remember. Guys, fix it. And we need some food. Got it. Food is important. We need we got 10 people, 20 meals a day. So let's do 25. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, right. Is it? Really? I didn't even know that. I wonder, is there like a way to watch the streams on airplanes? Because that'd be cool. If that's the case, I should have like busted out the flight simulator and followed the route that he's flying. See what the weather's like up there. Get some chop. Okay, so we got the cook doing his cooking things. We got to get the constructors up. These guys are searching for the morale. The morale is getting pretty low, which is understandable. Got a couple more of these fences, which means that we can get the beds going faster. So everybody might be able to get some sleep today. Ah. Yeah, many gold coins and wonderful credit cards. I know that like I think it was it American Airlines or United Airlines where you can connect to your streaming service of your choice. I see those emotes flying in on the YouTube. YouTube, we're gonna be about I think 20 seconds later than Twitch, just because of the latency stuff. But the quality on YouTube should be a little bit better on Twitch, just based on the. Oh, look at you! Oh, you know what's up, Rebus, and I do too. It's almost my favorite part of the stream. Wow. You have stumbled into my trap. For hear this proclamation. I, Colin, I, Colin, I don't even know who I am anymore. Merciful and just, captain of the stream, do hereby find noteworthy Stunner guilty of befuddling this place with bot followers. Such offences are treasonous, most foul. By my hand, I shall banish you for no less than 2 lifetimes. Mercy may be found elsewhere, for none shall be given here. Ban him. Away with you. You take care of that, Rebus. I would be forever in your debt. And just like that, justice has prevailed, and another bot person trying to get behind moderation tools is gone. Victory at last. This guy, Henry Prickett, he saw it. He's like, you know what? I'm so tired of this stuff. I'm tired of all the people on YouTube, on Twitch, trying to sell things. So rude. But that's what I have you for, chat. Look at all these guys passing out. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I know. It's terrible. You have bushes growing in your terrain. Now, was there like a smart way to destroy bushes without me destroying absolutely everything? I think so. We will have to see. But I think it's going to remove the floors anyway. Yeah. At least in this mute. Oh well, it is what it is. And I really hope you guys get to, like, actually sleep. Except for you. Where are you guys going? What are you doing? Stop. Where are you going? Stop. Stop. Rethink your lives. Oh. You're going over here in this bombed out little hut. Why? I guess it's no better than, you know, the this thing. Do I have... I've got a couple more people. I need a couple more beds. That's probably the issue. That is probably the issue. How many people do I have? Look at me, not even knowing how many crew I have. 14. Got it. So I've got not enough beds. I need more beds. Colin, you should know these things. There we go. I'm surprised. That was a pretty early dude trying to sell the streamers. So I've got 14. 14. I need 30 a day. Let's do 35. 35 a day keeps the doctor away. Look at that. And intelligent removal of bushes. I like it. I love it. I need some more of it. United indeed. Against the bot swarm defense of Super Earth. Or was that the other guys? For liberty and justice. Yeah, thanks for the bits, Rebus. I appreciate it. Did you get the text-to speech? What? I just heard it. Is it just mine? I'll have to roll that back. Remind me at the end of the stream, and I'll check it out, because I just heard it. Maybe did you mute my stream? Is that what's happening, Rebus? It might be. Or maybe Twitch. Maximum silence. It does take a little bit for him to start getting going. I've got all my my things. It should be. Because I'm toying with new ideas and new dangerous things, like instead of like capturing the audio via my my desktop audio, I'm just using specific games. But that should be all right. To cook food, you need raw water. I don't got a lot of raw water. Building zones, storage. Let us do basic storage only. Down here. And no seeds. Gardening zone, safety zone, expand zone. I like the expansion zones. Look at these guys sleeping. Good stuff, good stuff. We don't have enough chairs. We need to get some fire pits going, some outside seating. Otherwise, these people will be forever upset. But that's okay. Well, it's not okay. But soon we'll be okay. We'll be alright. Don't you worry, guys. This base will turn into something eventually. If we get an airstrip going. Where is the widest part? This is the longest part. If I start you here, I need a tier 5. That is not going to be long enough. I will pretty much have to go to the end, I think. Or maybe we just put the tier 5s on the right side and the shorter ones over here. We can do that too. And get a tier 3 going. Maybe even a tier 4. We got some new airplanes. We got the Mustang, which is a fighter. Of course, remember the Boeing B-17 from the last time. That was a bomber. Yeah, we'll have to get into that a little bit here soon. We need a tier 3. Tier 3 materials are concrete, which we don't have yet. But we do have sand. And let me look. All our beds are being used. This looks good. 105 torps. Dang. Oh, tarp. Do I want to cancel that maybe and put in a wooden roof? Is that going to be more accessible? Maybe. Yeah, let's get a wooden roof on this guy. I know the base morale is average at best, but yeah. Yeah! You know, I was thinking about opening up a civilization game, but the problem is that everybody would have to be there, you know, at the time. And so many of you guys are in the United States, and it'd be pretty early for you guys. But maybe that's a thing we can do for the community week. We'll do some brackets. Maybe we can do like some Stellaris or something. I don't know yet. Walls. Walls are good. And right out here, I want to start with some workbenches. The important ones are going to be the sawmills. And I want 2 of these. Yeah, they're still sucking on the energy. I need to get some. I need to get them some morale items. We'll put some wall walkers out there. We'll put out some little nightstands. They'll be nice. Still got a fair amount of food left. So hopefully we can get this done. I want to get this building, these 2 buildings done at least, before we work on the runway. Our storage here is already full. We might just need to make a new little storage area right here for wood and bricks only. Then we can take wood and bricks out of here. That should free up some space. Look at that efficiency. Ugh, marvelous. We got a wooden roof. This will be good. What do you mean you can't do it? Do I need to destroy the whole thing? Yeah. Sad day. Okay. Fine, fine. But this means hopefully is the roof still up? Please tell me that didn't destroy the roof. Then a second roof up here. And then we can start till we've got, what is that? Let's do 75. Let's do 75 on both of these. Good. And then we can get some of these in. That'll improve the mood a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Imagine commanders making decisions to improve the lives of their troops. Truly, we live in an enlightened era. Got one here. Wall locker here. I think we need a double one here then. Yeah. That should be fine. Are you happy? Your energy is going to go up. Confidence is low just because of the missions. What we need to do next is gardens. Little garden zone. Let's do one of these. Do that. Then we need a secondary zone for seeds. Is that enough? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, no. What if I increase it like so? 64 should be fine. Ooh, yeah. We already got some stuff that got defeated, decayed, and we'll do this. And then it's always important to have a little stockpile somewhere out where you don't need it, like let's say right here. Do a little 6x9, 69, hey-oh, just for trash and rubble. Because we are a little bit low on food, but that's okay, because we'll fix it. I'm so curious. Roof wood. Okay, you see it on the bottom right-hand corner, just where I am. Of course. Do I want to flip myself onto the other side? Nope, I don't. I'm gonna stay where I am. You just have to deal with it. Sorry. No shelter storage. Yeah, I know. We can start working on some other workbenches. We do need a brick station. And we need a metal working station. Then I guess we can do a cement mixer as well. The metal press is going to be important because it will produce the low caliber and high caliber ammo, the plane bombs. We actually do need those. we will definitely run out. Got some wooden planks, which means I want to, I don't think we can harvest these. Yeah, we just have to destroy this stuff. I want to build a little building out in here. It's not always a good idea to cluster all your buildings, because if the bombs start dropping, you know, you'll have an easier time getting hit. But we definitely do want them. I think we're going to start making brick buildings, though. If not brick, then cement. These always look like, the berry bushes look like little cactuses to me. I guess if you zoom in, they look like berry bushes, but you know the ones I'm talking about? Little prickly pear ones? Yeah. Good stuff. Working hard are the cooks. Good. I really do want you to complete this, though. The wooden roof, there you go. There you go, perfect. And over here, we can start doing some outdoor stuff. What do we got? We got 14. So if we've got a fire pit, which has a 2.5 radius. We can do this way. Which gives me 12. Probably gonna run out of tarps, but that's okay. Awesome. Cute. Working hard. One guy's gonna get to sit in a chair. Who are we lucky? Malcolm Gallagher. Can I rename you? I don't think I can I? Can I go in the crew? Alfred Hindcup? I don't think I can. That's alright though. The temperatures, so the funny thing is, right, so me streaming on YouTube and Twitch doesn't really increase the workload. All it does is send the signal to two different places, right? So YouTube has bandwidth capabilities, I think up to 50 megabytes a second, whereas Twitch throttles it between 7 and 9 megabytes a second. So I can theoretically get even higher resolution there. 2 out of 38. Not bad. Let me see. Leisure items, you say. Social items. Gramophones. Put a radio in here. Do a little, maybe, piano now. Chillin'. Lack of villain. Bar stool, okay. Metal shelf. What do you do in the metal shelf? I'm curious. Let's look. Mood is good. Energy's not great, to be honest. Confidence is going down a little bit. Yeah, they have no leisure items, so, you know. I am sorry. But we're stabilizing the workload. That is not bad. We've got enough food for the evening at least. I'm looking here correctly. I'm not. What the heck is... Oh, there it is. Meals 23. Yeah, that's fine. Slowly but surely we're getting more people. No cement mixer. That is true. We do need a cement mixer. And with cement, we're going to need more water. But, you know, the great thing about water is you can actually build it right here. But you need cement for that. Fair enough. Well played. Are we good with the, yeah, we're tier 2 runway? Okay, well, I'm going to build a little cluster. I want a, let's look at the planes, right? These guys need a size small parking lot. We are going to get the other ones first. Just for, yeah. I just saw that, Reba, sorry, I got distracted. You know, I mean, it's a different thing. I think YouTube has a little bit bigger of a resource. Yeah, I know. We're gonna, I want to get the Mustangs, but for that, I need to make this into a concrete runway, and I don't have that much concrete right now. How you doing, Skaden? Welcome. We're on a pure wheat diet, as well. Pretty rough. You got celiac, you know, it's not great. I will diversify, don't worry. Get some beans, tomatoes, potatoes. You name it. Are these real? I think these are fake. I don't think they exist. They do exist. Maybe? Can we change the floors? How do we change the floors? Hangar, building objects, training. Oh yeah, so the crew now have stats. We gotta train them. Move, destroy, terraforming. That's the one. Change terrain, and we can just dirt this stuff up. 5 by 10. Do a little 4 by 4 by 6, 4 by 7. Yeah. Something like that. Good. We got some cement mixer going. These just need some wood, which we should have at the end of the day. But we don't have any logs. Sorry. The trees gotta believe in it, you know. Everybody's environmentally friendly until the war starts. Sad truth, you know, then things start taking a back seat in terms of priority. Which is fair, you know, if you don't have a country to exist, you can't really, you know, take care of the environment, I guess. Yeah, I feel you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little tired. I don't know why. It's almost like I got up at an ungodly hour and drove all over the place. But I got to visit my dad, so that was cool. He's doing good. He hurt his knee a little bit, but you know, it's okay. What do you do? Energy +1. Nope, it's a mystery to me. So we... Dangerous recon mission. I don't even have any planes. What are you talking about? Okay, recon mission. We're gonna get some submarines. Supermarine subfires, not submarines. What am I talking about? And I am going to send you out on this mission. Good luck. Or how does it? I think that's what the British do. I don't know the British salutes. What do you say? Go with God, just go. I'm just kidding. Our guys are great. Yeah. Copious amounts of caffeine. They're good. I think. Wow. God. How do you translate Hemmingslow's? Without any kind of concern for or excessive consumption of caffeine or consumption of caffeine in general, I think has been shown that is it against Parkinson's or dementia? But yeah, maybe Rebus's positive energy is gonna get trapped in my brother's plane a little bit. Yeah, you got to do your part. I'm doing my part. Every time I come over, or someone comes over to my place, look at that, successful mission. We got it. Got a little bit of airplane health that got destroyed. Ah, hydrate. Did you get that alert? Did you hear it? Let me know if you hear it. Maybe I just... Weird. Did you hear it, Skate? Weird. Weird. Let me investigate. Edit alerts. Channel points. Whoops. I don't know what I did. Yeah. This you can't hear. What if I try this one? But you see it on I'll have to look into that. Because that is definitely not the way it's supposed to be. Because I hear it. Let me see. What if we do this way?
What did one ocean say to the other ocean? Nothing, it just waved.
Maybe it's there? High caliber ammo. That should work, right? What? Yeah, so the alert sound shouldn't be there. What about you? Weird. Weird. Because, so basically, what I ended up doing is I'm using the desktop audio instead of the game audio. And that shouldn't be, because if I put on some, you know, anything, you'll hear it. I'm listening to my gangster music or whatever it is. Why are you here? I destroyed you. Anyway. It is what it is. I can't change it right now. I'm not gonna make you guys suffer through it. Well, I figure some stuff out. That is to be done with by stream. Okay. Ah! My screen has gone dark. I hate it. Maybe it'll come back. Otherwise I have to replug my computer real quick. Give me just 1 second. All right. I don't know what kind of chaos I did on stream. I hope it's fine. I can see you guys again. Can I? I don't know. There you go. For whatever reason, somehow, randomly, my computer will just turn itself off, or when it displays off, for no apparent reason. Which makes me unhappy. If we want potatoes, we do this. And then if we want potato seedlings, we do this. Perfect. That should be enough food. And for food, we need water. Where is the water, you ask? I don't know, I say. We're running out of water. Yeah, I don't know. But I am going to make some cement. YouTube is complaining. How's it looking on your side? How are you doing, Fluffy Bunny? Good to see you. I'm having some troubles with this stuff. Would be nice if everything just worked the way it's supposed to. There we go. Perfect. I'm a little confused. So basically, like half my screen wasn't doing well. I don't know why. I have to figure it out. That's alright. So we have one mission and 100% success. So that is great. Let us change our layout. We need, in fact, some artillery, Bofors. And because we don't have any, I want some low caliber ammo. Thank you, Skade and Revis. You know, I mean that is how it goes. Okay, I'll have to look at my settings. YouTube is unhappy. But that's okay, I can't change it midstream. But that is something that I'm gonna write on this. Fix bandwidth. It is 18 o'clock. I know this because I've got a little alert. Did you get it too, Rebus? Or am I ahead of you? Okay, let's get back. No more distractions. What are you doing? We are short on tarps. Tarps are made in a textile thing. Tailor station. For that we need machinery. Machinery, we need you. Let's like make 5 of these. With concrete, we now have access to large things. And concrete is actually cement that we need, which is fine. Got more than enough sand, I think. Yep. And this flagpole is going to be able to support people. I made some jello. over the what is it? Yesterday or the day before? My sister came over, and it did not turn out as we expected. It was not quite that good, but that's okay. You know, give feedback. I think. What is that? Bug. This is fine. Walls left after deconstruction. There we go. Got another one mission to go. And then we can get our Spitfire. We got our mechanical parts. If we got mechanical parts, we can go down into the tailor station. It needs to be placed indoors, so let us build some workshops then. Okay, building, floor, bricks. Bricks is a good idea. It needs more water. For water, I need to go into the outdoor stuff, and I need to make water pumps. Water pumps will go over here where the cement is. And I'm gonna build 4 for now, and that should work. What do we got here? We have potatoes. We gotta find some potatoes. Potatoes are found exclusively in the woods, just like here. Bam. And some bell peppers, or what are these? Tomatoes. Could you imagine being allergic to the tomato? The most delicious fruit of them all. Life is hard sometimes. Where were we? Let's. I guess we'll be stuck doing a thing. Yeah. So Fluff and Billy, this is it's a game called Ground of Aces, which is right here on my shirt. Basically, what the story is, you're in World War II England, and you are trying to build up a little base to start running missions. They're going to get increasingly difficult, and the enemy's going to come and attack, which reminds me I need to protect my area. Did these get expanded? This is a much larger radius. Nice. But it needs ammo. Which means we need to take it. Yeah, Battle of Britain, basically. So Ground of Aces is, I think it's a Swiss developer. They're called Blindflug Studios, I think. And what they do is they're trying to work out all the different airplanes. So you got all these historical ones, right? The Bristol, the Hurricane, Gladiator, Spitfire, the Flamingo. They all have different kinds of things. The B-17, of course, that's the American Maritime skin, I believe. Yeah, so you develop this. It is in early access still, and you can do a lot of things like, for example, we can make our own ammunition now. Before I played the last time, we didn't have any abilities to make any ammunition, or we could make the ammunition, but they weren't ever consumed. Right now, they are, and so that's a little bit different. And as the game develops, they want to also add the Luftwaffe, so you can fly with the German planes. Well, you can't fly them, but you can build the bases. I'm interested to see how they do the story. Obviously, I don't think there will ever be as big of an aerial, war as there was in the Second World War. I mean, the amount of airplanes and the amount of pilots that ended up, spending their lives out in the skies of the battles is incredible. The survivability of those bombers was not very good. You like have entire wings just get obliterated. The Americans had a specific strategy. Pilot competition, we always fail that one. We got enough fuel, that's fine. So the Americans had a very different approach to bombing than both the English and the Germans did, because the Americans had this absolutely obscene industrial power. They were able to build so many planes. Yeah. That the Americans wanted to bomb during the day so they can actually see what they're bombing. Whereas the British and the Germans primarily bomb during the night, which is safer for the airplanes, but you don't always hit your target. And because it was everything with like navigation by map, by compass, by clock, you know, it would be hard to get your proper target, especially if you black out all the curtains and everything. So yeah, that's kind of like a different mentality. But for the Americans, that means that they had an incredible amount of soldiers and or airmen that were lost, right? There's Army Air Corps. Pacific Theater would be interesting. I don't know if it would work with this kind of game setup, because we're building our own little world and trying to do the resource management. But yeah. It could, I guess. But it's a fascinating topic. I mean, it's just incredible what everybody was able to do. The amount of like airmanship that goes with it, and like in the First World War, airmen were still kind of like considered like an honorable thing, right? Where, I think when the Red Baron was shot down, he was shot down in British territory, and they gave him like a big old funeral and everything. I think that was what I have to look at again with the flying circus, because they colored all their planes crazy, right? So there's not the camouflage. And this time, there was this I forgot what the pair was. It was a German airplane, fighter, a Messerschmitt, I think, a 109 or something. And he saw B-17 was limping back with like one engine. It's shot all to hell, and it was one of those kind of like, I don't know if you call it a feel-good moment, but the German dude was about to shoot down the plane, and he's like, I've never seen a bomber then that was still able to fly in this condition. So he escorted it through the German territory so he wouldn't get shot down by flak. And afterwards, they actually met up. It was amazing. Yeah. The Pacific Theater is a very interesting one. The island hopping is brutal. And like, if you see, I think it was Midway, or like Pearl Harbor and everything, that was a whole different kind of fighting. And the amount of airmanship to fly in an aircraft carrier, right? Like now, we have catapults and like a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Like on the Midway, that's where I spent the night, on the USS Midway. But back then, what they would do is they'd have to get the aircraft carrier up to a certain speed. Oh man, he didn't make it. Yeah, that's fine. They'd have to get to a certain speed, and then the airplanes would have to increase their own speed to get that minimum airspeed. What is it called? The rotation, VR, velocity rotation. Exactly. Like the Doolittle raid was so incredible because those planes were absolutely not designed at all to fly on aircraft carrier. And they had to take a ton of stuff off of the planes. That's why they ended up ditching in China, because they wouldn't, come back. Crazy stuff. Yeah. There's no way to fly crosswind. You'd always have to be in the wind on aircraft carriers. You just don't have the speed, right? And that's one of the crazy things about aviation, right? The speed over ground is kind of sort of not all that important. What the important thing is the speed of the wind that goes over your airfoils, your wings, right? that alone is what generates lift. So if you have winds, like your takeoff, like your rotation speed is like called VR. If it's 50 miles per hour and you have 45 mile per hour winds coming at you, so like a headwind, you have a takeoff speed of 5 miles per hour, which is nothing. So you can immediately kind of like float. Like there's actual competitions in Alaska, I think, with is the Piper Cubs? I think it's like the shortest landing and the shortest takeoff distance. And some of them are like 10 or 20 feet because the winds are so high that they basically, all they have to do is like increase the angle of attack to catch more of the wind, and they just shoot off. It gets a little bit more complicated when the ground effect goes away. I learned how to fly airplane. I got my private pilot license. In case you are wondering what my expertise is in that matter, I flew a Cessna 172, a little Skyhawk. That was my claim to fame. That's where I got all this information from. And yeah, it's fascinating, super fascinating. Then you have like things. You got a whole bunch of like speeds to keep in mind. There's like the indicated airspeed, the calibrated airspeed. You got your ground speed, and all of that stuff changes. Yeah. The SR-71 speed check story is great. The one with the altitude is good as well. Yeah, and they developed those skate. You were mentioning with the crazy short landing distances because they were landing in fields, right? They had to always find places to land because the Allies would just bomb airfields all the time, and you can't really land on a bombed airfield because you're going to break off your axle, right? Where do I learn this? Because I'm a big fat nerd and I love flying. that is the truth of the matter. Skate is kind of maybe he's a bit of a nerd too, but a good nerd. You did good, Skate. And there's a lot of military history that you learn about. There's a ton of documentaries that are really cool. There's a ton of books. You get a little bit indoctrinated a little bit in American schools. Yeah, exactly. You know what, Skate? You would have been great as any of those things. Now you can be a sniper medic. Yeah. Flying sniper medic. Exactly. And very self-sufficient. I was talking or looking through some stuff, and the question is, what are your plans for the zombie apocalypse? And, not to pat myself on the back, but I've gathered some pretty good skills. I'm a medic in the army for a little bit, so I can do like basic first aid, probably a little bit more than basic first aid. So the military, so I know how to handle weapons, I know how to fly airplanes. I'm a pretty good candidate, other than the fact that, I'm a little bit disabled and broken in the body, but as long as you can, not make me run a lot, I'll be fine. Yeah, nurse would be great. You're doing the RN program, right? For sure. And I got super lucky that I got to talk to some of these veterans. I worked in some of the hospitals in the army, like Landstuhl. We had some old pilots that retired in Germany, actually, which, I guess it makes sense. They have a hell of a story, because obviously, a lot of stories get toned down, if you believe it or not. Nice. Because some of the stuff that we experience in the military, nobody would believe us that's actually the way it is. Yeah. I'm trying to get the... Oh, wow. Yeah, World War One, that would be wild. You know, I mean... But now, you can relay those stories. And that is such an incredible thing. You know, like... oral storytelling is the foundation of so many like belief systems and so much in this world. You know, I mean that's how religion was spread. That's how history was spread until we were able to write everything down. And there's just something different. If you read a story or if you have a story that's relayed to you, entirely different. And it's great. I love storytelling. I don't know if you noticed. I like talking, and it's I think it's starting to be a little bit of an art form that's getting lost a little bit, and that's sad because we should definitely keep that alive as best we can. In my humble opinion, take it with a grain of salt from a guy that likes to talk. I talk a lot. I always get in trouble with the parents and girlfriends because... Why are we not building you? Is it because we need ammo? We might need some ammo. Crazy. Yeah. Germany has a unique history, you know. It's a very martial country. You know, you got the Saxons, you had the Prussians, the Bavarians, we had the Teutonic Orders, we had the Baltic Crusades. There was a lot of stuff that Germany did as a military might that is huge. Like, for example, the Blue Book that Baron von Steuben, I think, wrote or gave to George Washington to do the drill and ceremony and the order and discipline of the United States Army fighting in the Revolutionary War against the British. You know, that's where you get the concept of the non-commissioned officer. There's like a lot of cool stuff that goes into it. But of course, you know, due to the First World War and Second World War, a lot of soldiers aren't publicly viewed as a positive thing. There's a lot of shame about that still to this day. So they're struggling with that right now, actually, because the Bundeswehr wants to increase recruiting. Light fighter interception. Will we survive? Yeah. We're gonna have to fix you up. And if we get this, we can get the second pilot out. That'll be good. Next ship in 5 days. So if you're able to commission into the school, would you go through the OCS as well? Or is that like integrated into the medical school? If you don't mind me asking. I think I ask this like every time and I keep forgetting. I don't do it maliciously, I promise. I'm just a big goober when I forget things a lot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and you know, and it's such an incredibly difficult thing to like talk about as well. You know, because there was some really bad stuff done by you know, everybody in the wars, specifically the SS. You know, and that the original SS. Victory at all costs. No, probably not at all costs, but we can't do the U, but we can do another supermarine. We need a new bed, which means we need tarps, which means this needs to get built. Yeah, it's tough. You know, that kind of topic is very tough because the original SS were like shock troopers. They're the first ones in Poland, I think, and they were very, very well trained, highly motivated force that was very, very effective in what they did. Then the internal politicking, especially later on in the war, expanded their duties quite significantly. You know, but in the same thing, you know, if you were to oppose the government and the idea, the NSDAP in any which way, you would basically get penalized for it, right? You don't get promotions. You might find yourself in bad assignments, or you would just get hauled off for treason. You know, it was a very much a thing. It doesn't excuse. Again, these are not excuses. It's just reasons, right? And not saying it's good or bad or however it is. It's just how it was. And the Russians, they they did some pretty dang extreme stuff as well. Yeah, and woe to the conquered. You know, the victor writes history, and that's how the world turns. And to think, you know, little old Germany, after being absolutely ravaged after the First World War and experiencing a hyperinflation and a hyper depression that I don't think has been ever seen in, I don't know about like maybe Zimbabwe had like some pretty hyperinflationist kind of things. I can't remember. Yeah. Yeah. To recover from that and become once again a nation in 30 years after the World War One, to do it all again, not necessarily a good thing, but that's impressive, you know, to rebuild like that. Yeah, the Panzer SS, you know, those are all different units, you know, different things, not all good, not all bad, and with the Totenkopf, right, the skulls are a huge part of German military history. The Prussians used it all the time. You can see it in like the 1800s and the other times. They used skulls in their iconography quite a lot. Yeah. As a caveat, you know, this whole conversation, this whole topic, anti-Semitism is bad. We should all get along. I think we can agree on that, right? That's about as political as I want to get in that regard. Okay. What is the morning glory syndrome? Gosh, I'm losing my ability to speak. Tell me more. If I'm not mistaken, in this game, although it says it needs to be inside, I think inside is defined by having... No, it does have to have a roof. Okay. Yeah. I heard stories of Germans that would quite simply just burn their money because it was cheaper to burn the money than buy wood with it. Or coal. There was like some crazy stuff that happened to the Germans after the First World War, you know, because of this hyperinflation. The French and the British would kind of just like walk through towns and they could do whatever they want because they had money and the Germans needed money. So like family heirlooms, they just traded them away, or they would come in and just take stuff, or you know, they had like tourism and they'd make people do things against their will just because they wanted to buy food. Crazy stuff. Crazy time in history, you know. And then with the French taking out the Ruhr Valley, Rhine Valley, where the industrial center, part of the reparations, Germany would never have been able to repay those war reparations. And the war reparations were a reason of the Second World War anyway. You know, because back in the day, reparations were part of just being defeated. You know, it was a big part, but it was on such a huge scale that you just couldn't manage it ever. I think my brother has some Zimbabwean dollars, and it's like 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollars or something. I think they're completely worthless. They're not even worth the paper it's printed on. And yeah, which is why, you know, you've got things like gold. Oh yeah, I can imagine. How cool! I mean, like, you know, that kind of blows my mind that there's a you know, those stories still out there of like a first-hand accounts. Obviously, I would imagine that this individual is probably no longer with us, but oh, what an incredible thing! And Hitler was a, I don't know if he was super successful, but I think he was awarded the Iron Cross for his service in the First World War. He was out there doing stuff. So, you know, he wasn't just like a random politician. He did know a little bit of the martial stuff as well. He became super paranoid and then never let anybody do what they were supposed to do, and had, you know, fears and plots behind every corner. It's probably a good thing. Birthday mission. Okay, let's send out this guy. Maybe two. 49%. Do we even bother? We have to. Fine. This is taking a lot longer. I think a lot of time is spent on these potatoes. I wonder if I could just, like, cancel this for now. Yeah. We got a ton of grains. And that kind of gives these out. Yeah, okay. So you want to destroy them all. That's fine. Yeah. And how cool is that? You know, how cool is it to explore different avenues, different, like, points of views? I think every single topic that's worthy of having a discussion about has so many nuances and different viewpoints about it that it is incredibly beneficial for you to learn as much as you can from people on the other side, you know, to see their viewpoint. Yeah. It does require a certain amount of patience or interest, you know, and it's hard to motivate people now because I'm gonna blame video games and social media because they get that, like, instant gratification kind of stuff, you know. Storytelling takes time, you know, and you have to sit around and hang out with the old people. I remember when I moved to the United States, I didn't have a lot of friends that were my own. Yeah, I know. This was, of course, it was. I didn't have a lot of friends that were like my own age group, age range. So what would happen is I would hang out with adults. So this right here would actually be a problem. This runway needs to be readjusted, in theory. So this would be like your 50-foot obstacle. So when you're taking off, the first 50 feet are kind of like the how fast you need to go up. That's definitely an obstacle that limits this runway. Although, you also see these things where the planes land this way and then they take off that way, I think, which is a little bit unrealistic. And hypothetically, if you look at the flags, oops, hey, stop it with the mic, sorry. The flags are waving this way, so that means there's a constant crosswind, which isn't great. So the wind, the The runways should be built in this direction, like left to right instead of up and down. But, you know, that is my fault as designer of this thing. Okay, and now we've got a building that is done, and we can put some of the workbenches in here that we need, including the tailor station, the metal press, espionage radio. Boiler tank can stay outside, that's fine for now. Let's do a little storage. And in this storage, I want... So this is a new thing. When the enemies come to attack you now, you can scramble your own airplanes to intercept the enemy, maybe. Let's scramble. Alert. Okay, they're gonna hide in here. Where are the planes? Run, 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 my good friends. I know you don't have beds. It's exciting. Sorry for the interruption. There is no radar as of yet, I don't think. I'm getting hyped. Oh, what is this? Scramble report. These enemies have been shot down. None. Awesome. Okay, good. Yeah, we have very no start, so they didn't get out in time. I think, I guess. Where are we at? Where we're gonna take some damage. There we go. Oh gosh. Yeah. Are we all still alive? We got one more plane coming probably from over here. There it is. It's a Stuka, I think. Yeah. Can we get him? Because this guy, he's the one that hurts. Oh god. Oh. Okay, we got him. Everybody go back to sleep. Okay. Damage report. He's having a panic attack. It's a legitimate, justified reaction. He got exploded on top of the barracks. I guess that's a point. So, okay. Now let me get back to chat. Yeah, it's sad, you know. And so when you forget history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? That's why I think it's incredibly sad that, like, a lot of the history courses are getting taken out of schools, or, you know, not really given the credit that they're due. I think that's a little sad, but, you know, that's what you do. Game over? No, sir. No game over here. We have successfully, yeah. No, knowledge is great. What do you say? Warhammer 40k, knowledge is power. They say hide it well, but we're all about sharing it in my stream. Sometimes I share a little bit too much, you know, that's fine. You'll have to get used to it. But yeah. Okay. We've got a shipment in 3 days, but I don't know, so basically in the HQ, as the British would say, I need to fulfill the quota, which means I need one more successful mission. I think. No, actually, there's no requirements. Yeah. But we shall see. And with you, what are you missing? Probably clay. Clay Akins. Ah, that's a nice emote. I like it. Okay, so your little confidence is breaking. This guy over here is just out here, is just saluting the flag. He's like, "Good morning, good morning, flag." I love it. For England, for king and country, capital indeed. Jolly good fellow. And hydrate. I shall. Gotta watch out. I did something weird. With, I don't know what I did. Maybe it is, that I've got, that my muscles are sore, that I got, like, sore muscles after workout. In German, you have Muskelkater, muscle cat, muscle male cat. Is there a term for a male cat? Like, you got a stallion, that's a male horse, I think, right? And not a minnow. A mare is the female horse. Is there a term for a male cat? A tom? Yeah, Tom. Yeah. Perfect. There you go. Ah. Humans very much remain the same. One of my favorite games out there is, of course, Fallout. And that's that whole thing. War never changes. And how true is that? You know, our technology changes, but the rest just stays the same. Okay, we gotta work our way up. We need some more resources, and we need some training stuff. Intel, exercise rack, cool. Posters, enemy watching posters. I need to build some proper barracks, and for barracks, no, I'm getting ahead of stuff. First, we need some tarps, because we need some beds. That's important. Because I think we were missing 1 or 2 beds. And that's not great. Can we prioritize building this? Thank you. And now we've got enough beds. Perfect. We got some steel production. We got all the other things. Nice. We got enough water. The next thing for autarky, I think is what it's called, is replenishing fuel tank. I'm gonna put this over here. Bam. Can I build a second one? Unlikely. Rainy recon mission. Ooh, he might go away. But you, 76%? We can do that. And I think one of the problems is this isn't so we need some mechanical parts. I want 10 mechanical parts done, and I want like, oh wait, this is the wrong one. 10 mechanical parts, and I want like, let's do 50 metal. We can do that. I hope we win this mission. No special occurrences flying to the rain clouds. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. We have a little bit of cement, but not much. Oh, perfect. Which means when we get to our HQ, I don't need the Bofors. We got one of those. What I want is a radio tower. So you don't have radar, but you have a radio tower. Advanced bombing simulator. Turret trainer. Okay. So we can't even build these. Oh, yeah, okay. These are different things. Everything's fine. dartboard clocks. We gotta... So, let me think. I want to build... I think I'm gonna go over here. What I'm gonna do... Oh, I'm gonna save this game. We're gonna save... what is this? Update... Save... Twitch. Although we're also on YouTube. Save view, load you. The reason being, perhaps, those buildings will disappear. Be happy. There we go! The buildings have disappeared. Exactly as I predicted. Perfect. That's what I wanted. And now, they don't look ugly. Speaking of ugly, potatoes. Ugly potatoes. Are potatoes ugly? I guess they're not the prettiest fruit. Let me see. To get into the things, I need a tier 2 runway, minimum of 2+ runways. Can we build a second one? I mean, we can build a second one. Just have to throw it over here. If we start here, airstrip over here, make it a 5 long runway, we're gonna come out to here. That is incredible. 200 meters, which is not even close to what you would need in real life. So this is one runway for the tier 5s. Can we get... We can't even get it. Okay, we can get a couple. Can we get a second tier 5 runway over here? Super dangerous having these runways so close together. I might boot them out a little bit further. But they never actually use them, so this is fine. Boop, 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 boop. Boop. Perfect. They're gonna build these. It's gonna take a long time, but that's fine. I'm gonna actually hire another guy, and I want to hire a laborer. So you got the victory points, and this victory points is you can get new pilots, new airplanes, and now new crew. Ancient Greeks had the first vending machines. Really? Yeah. Now I know that in Rome you had working plumbing and like latrines and that kind of stuff. What is it? Was it that a copper trader in Sumeria that they got the customer complaint form or something like that they found as like the oldest customer complaint form? That was pretty legit. The passive cooling using like terracotta and stuff like that is incredibly smart. The way the pyramids were built, there was incredible technology that we have. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, very cool. Like, there's a whole bunch of ingenious stuff. You know, you don't even have to go back that far. We're talking about going back to the moon, right? Because, of course we are, because we gotta, I think in this case we gotta beat China, because Russia doesn't want to go, and they're busy right now. But we don't have the ability to build those rockets anymore. we have the machining capabilities, and we have the engineers to do it, but we forgot how to properly build them, like the expertise to build them, because a lot of the rockets were like handcrafted, a lot of panels and stuff. That we're now having to reinvent the wheel to send us back to the moon. I think that's incredible. Very cool. I mean, sad, of course, that we, yeah, exactly, and like I don't even know where my phone is, but it's somewhere over here. Yeah, this guy. That my phone has more computing power than the entire Apollo mission. What? That's insane. That's madness. I gotta plug my phone in. Sorry. There we go. I think that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Okay, we've got our fuel. Fuel is important. I want to build a few sheds in this area. What are you? You're nothing. You're nothing to me. It's gonna take a little bit. You destroy these things. Oh, everybody's probably over here. Let me look at this plane. This plane is good. This plane is good. Ah, super cool. So you can order maintenance and refueling. I like that. Before, so what happened in the very beginning is the planes were set on an automatic repair mode, and they would only get repaired to like 50%, or they only get repaired if they drop below 50%, or you know, some kind of range in between there. And it was super tedious because you'd always have to go and like micromanage them to repair the planes. And then they set it to 80%, and now they changed it that you can actually order the repair, and I like that. That's really cool. The developer is really in touch with the community. I feel, you know, you always have critics that say, "Oh, he could be doing more," or "They could be doing more," but I'm very happy, and that's why I'm, you know, like happy to play this, because I don't think there's a lot of you know, viewership out there, but that's okay. I don't mind. Yeah. And even like hand gestures, right? Like when you talk about people, they're like hang up, you know, we'd go like this, or you know, and they just press the button to hang up, right? They don't even know why to hang up a phone, because you used to have to literally hang the receiver. Nobody knows, you know, or like the way to make a heart, you know, and all that stuff. Yeah. Cursive writing. And that's actually a thing that's kind of in debate right now, because a lot of people that are in the younger generations, they're not learning how to write at all, or they don't use it because they just use computers, they just use telephones. They don't write notes. They send WhatsApp messages to themselves. Messages, not messages, messages. Or, you know, yeah, they do everything electronically. They don't even handwrite notes. They send themselves text messages. They use apps. Sign their names. I mean, I've seen some signatures that would, you know, I don't think you can do an X, but you can do whatever you want. I had a guy. This is a story. I don't know how true this story is, but he for his signatures used like 3 skulls, right, and like made a little skull drawing for each one. Well, he ended up kind of like keeping that, but that was on his driver's license, on his official documents. He bought a house, and exactly, make your mark. So he thought he could just sign, but it had to match up. So he had to sign like 30, 40 times with those little skulls. Boy, did he feel like a shaved tail Louie, or however you say that thing. Wild stuff. You know, the things that you don't think about when you're like a kid and you're young and you're like, hey, you know, that's like when you make your first email and you're like, I don't know, XXX Supreme Raider Lord of Awesome XX 3,000. And that becomes your email. And then you like go for a job interview and they're like, what's your email? And you're like, oh, I think it's time for me to make a new email. I got lucky with these emails that I have, that they're still available, but like the people in the future, there's only so many usernames, you know? How much ammo we got? 82. Ooh, that is not a lot. We need to start doing some ammo. Which we can. Because it takes 5 metal. So let's make 100 rounds. And this takes 2 metal. Let's make some more. Cool beans. Yeah. I mean, to a degree, I'm doing that with the granny arts. I'm at an old monastery, and I am there at the smithy. I'm not there right now because I busted my shoulder, but I've been there almost 2 years now, and they're teaching me is a Maurer. They build walls. Mason, kind of sort of mason, I think. And the other guy's a Schlösser. How do you pronounce that? Or describe that? He works with tools. The point being is they're both around 70 years old, and they learned smithing as part of their apprenticeship. And nobody learns smithing anymore unless you go into the smithing to make like iron fences, and it's a completely different style of smithing. I'm trying to learn as much as I can from them, because at some point they were indicating to me that I would probably, when they start not being able to do it as much, take over the smithy, Yeah. And like, I saw, this is the coolest thing, like if I could give up my life and just do this, that would be great. They were building a medieval castle in France using only the medieval kind of tools, right? And you'd have your mason and your stoneworkers that were out there. Rebus, what did you do? Why? Anyway. They built this castle for 20 years using only the technology that they had. The only thing they did is they had that wooden crane that like lifts stuff, and they had to put like OSHA regulation security kind of things so that they don't fall out, and it's like a workplace safety, so that's fine. But during this process they realized there's a lot of technologies and a lot of things that they did that they don't remember how it's done, right? And they had to reinvent that technology to build these castles, and it's so cool. I wish I could work on a project like that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any money in Germany to kind of like look into those kind of things, and so be it. Okay. What was I doing? I want cement. Cement needs to be on a produce until we have, and I actually need quite a bit of it. Let's do 75. Bricks, we do 50. This is fine. Metal is fine. Wood, we are good in. I want another fuel tank, because we're going to start burning through fuel like crazy. For England. And now I need to work on building them an actual little like officers club, or like an enlisted club, I guess. And it's going to be made out of bricks. And it is going to be, actually, outdoors, we have a distance of 3. So distance of 3. Oh, confirmed delivery. No strikes. Yeah, we need that radio tower. Essa is. Rebus. Essa is. So I have written in my moderator here a little bit. He's getting too power hungry. Yeah. Oh, what is that Monty Python skit? I feel oppressed. A woman handing out magical swords in a pond is no basis of government. Something like that. Passive weather knowledge. Okay, I'll do that. Roadblock. Okay, today we get the truck, and then we get the Holy Grail. We're gonna build a radio tower. Radio tower goes on top of things. This looks like things. Bam. And I hope it's, yep, it's in the middle, absolute middle of the runway. Let's move this a little bit better. Radio tower. Yeah, some distance away. Is it still covered by the flak? It even is, yeah. Let us reload the flak. The true best bunny scene for sure. Tim, the wizard Tim. The holy hand grenade of Antioch. You shall count to 3. Not 2. 4 is also not the correct number. 5. Rebus, if you're being repressed, all you have to do is rise up. Non-political violence. I don't know where my tools are. So what I've done is I made 2 tongs. I've made a smithing tongs, right? And then I made like a steak turner. I've made a like a steak grabber kind of stuff. Those are kind of like the little tools. I've made this was really like, I can't say I made it. We made 4 hammers. So we got the raw things, the raw ingots, and hammered them into our little steel hammers. That was so much work. We only have a very small furnace, or is it kiln? No, furnace? Forge. We have a very small forge. I've made nails, which are an absolute pain. You know, you draw them through. And you got to make sure that they're centered, sort of centered, mostly centered. Not all of them look great. I've repaired a couple pickaxes and spades and scythes. I've made a, let me see. I'll be right back. I got something. All right, so don't judge me too hard because I'm still working on things. But this is like a little candle holder I've made. So basically, this gets kind of like posted against the wall, and the candles go into these holes, and you light them on fire, and then it's like candles. I don't know if you can see them that well. I made this. This used to be a file, and it is. No. This wasn't a file. This was a on gates, right? They have those the long rods to keep the wood together. That's what this was. Yeah. Wall scotch, exactly. I did not fold a sword 100 times, 300 times, 3,000 times. It's over 3,000. Yeah, so we our forge isn't very big. Our fire pot is just about like this big. So we can't really do a lot of big projects in it. And the monastery didn't have the need to make really big things as well. So yeah, I want to at some point, you know, once I become rich and famous, I want to buy a Vierseitenhof. It's a German farmstead, you know, where they have like they had the worker building and the family building. They have the barn, and then they have like a storage shed, and then in the middle is like a little courtyard, and there's like a little gate. I want to convert one of those things into like a little forge for myself that I can make some bigger things. I attempted to make some chainmail, but that's a soul-sucking task that I'm going to outsource to somebody else. And I want to forge some bigger stuff, you know, like I don't know, the fun things. I want to pour some ingots, probably not copper. Yeah. The only thing that is difficult about smithing is there's really no money in it. The amount of resource and the amount of time you need to invest in it never covers your costs. The thing is, you know, back in the day, you'd have a smith and that's all he would do. Etsy store for sure. I'm thinking, you know, at some point I'm going to start a Patreon, and I'm going to make like I want to pour some bells, and you can have a little column bell and go ding ding ding. You know, or if you do like you're subscribed for 3 years, or you know, some kind of thing like that, I'll figure something out. But until then, I've got some time, and I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? And I would absolutely love and adore if I could take you guys into the forge with me, but there is no reception there whatsoever, and it's in a big valley, and for whatever reason, the German government isn't really interested in putting a cell phone tower just to like broadcast into a monastery. So there's no way I could take you. The only thing I could do yeah, exactly. I could do like prepared content where I would put it on YouTube, and we'd just be out there, and I'd like set up some cameras, and we can work on it. I'd have to ask the monastery because they have a Förderverein, like a association, like monastery association. So I wouldn't. I don't own the monastery, so I would have to ask if I can film in there, and you know, do all the things. And then there's the German privacy laws, and you know, things. Okay, we need to start making some nails with heads. Going back with these smithing things. We have enough people here. We don't have enough victory points. We don't have. The schedule is good. This is fine. Yeah, we're looking okay. The crew is looking okay. We're fearful. That's fine. I'm gonna make a little exercise yard. A little exercise yard is gonna go over here. I want exercise racks. Let's do like 2. We're gonna do like a little. What is this? Mechanic training station. Could do like a little circuit training thing. Wooden flight simulator for the pilots, I imagine. Bombing. mechanic training, I guess. A shooting range. The shooting range I probably don't want pointing at the barracks. Probably put it over here. Yeah, it looks good. What do we have in here? I don't want... What do I not want in here? I don't want wood. I don't want metal. I don't want planks and bricks. I do want metal over here. There you go. We do use scrap iron. Primarily what we do, because again, everything that we do in the forge is out of pocket, and we don't get any kind of subsidies or any kind of cultural heritage, that kind of stuff. Yeah, as I'm twitching. Clear sky recon mission. Oh. I hope you don't die. We're doing a lot of things with donated goods, and in return, what we do is all the local construction people, the local farmers, they come to us during the farmers market. We do it once a month. We go out and we reforge their chisels. We reforge some stuff. We make knives. If it's requested, we have to watch out a little bit because the German laws, for example, if we make like a dagger of a certain size and that's used in an attack, we are liable for that. So we get a lot of like requests to make like morning stars or flails or like throwing knives and throwing not daggers, stars, ninja stars, shuriken, and all that fun stuff. And you know, that's the kind of stuff you can't do because and justifiably so. You know, the government's gonna come and be like, hey, you did not use this responsibly. Why did you do this? I can't believe you've done this. Let's do 10 of each. We don't have a lot of meals. This is fine. You see, and those are the things, right? Where the German government would be like, "Hey, you're making a hunting knife," because you know there's certain things I can't say on stream. Does it fall within the weapon laws? And if it does, you're still liable. And that's like one of the crazy things. Like for example, in California, where I lived, you're allowed to carry a sword with you and just wear it, open carry it. But it has to be visible from 3 sides. It has to be in a sheath, and it needs to not be inside of a... I know what you meant, but I'm still not going to risk it. Just kidding. Yeah, it can't be the cane, right? Cane swords are illegal. So in theory, you know, you can walk around. However, if you take your sword out and you brandish it or you try to intimidate people, now you're again in the illegal portion of that. So it's a little bit nuanced in those things. Ah, we got our guy back, and hopefully he doesn't die. Cool. And we got our first thing. So a thing that I wanted to see. No, looks good. Looks good. And with this, we've got another ability to hire some people. We need more laborers. I'm gonna actually get a field engineer. This guy is going to help us out. We have 16 and 2. We've got 4, 8, 10, 20 beds total. That's good. They could. And I would have to find a carpenter, because I have zero skill with woodwork. But like one of the things about like smithing, if you do a lot of it at once, it's worth it. But people come up to you and say, "Hey, I want like a knife, fork, spoon set," right? So you go out, you get the smithing coal or the coke, and you get the metal and you heat it up and you spend 2 hours making all that stuff for you. Then you're like, hey, to kind of justify my existence, I need to charge you like 30, 40 bucks for this set. And then they say, oh, you know what? I can just go to Walmart, or I can go to the local store and get like a set of 5 for like $12. So, yeah. That would be utterly inconvenient for you to cut off your own fingers. Imagine if you're drunk and you're like, this daggone chest, I just can't open it. And then you're like, my fingers disappeared. What has happened? Very inconvenient. Fingers are in fact very nice. You should keep your fingers healthy as long as you can. And now we've got stats. Nice. Well done. Cool. Cool beans. For England, indeed. I keep getting distracted by stories. I want to make an officer hall. Light fighter interceptors. We're in a good mood. Trained crew. 94% estimate. Let's send you out. I imagine there's like a way to like open the latch or something inside the chest. And those chests were ridiculously heavy. Wow. Crazy stuff. In yeah, exactly. Because you know you don't want stuff, people going through your all your things. We can go back to creating food. You are seed. Ta-da! We got 2 successful missions, so we guarantee ourselves a thing. I want a searchlight. And what do we need right now? We can make all these. I want a repair part. And I want some cement. Looking into the future. Fair skate. That is always the best way. Can you open this box for me? Just press these 3 pins. Or wait, was it the other 3 pins? Can't remember. Better yours than mine, I always say. Good. What are we missing here? Metal. Wood. Lots of wood. We got the ammo, actually. That's cool. Sandbags. Man, I remember in the army, in medic training at Camp Bullis in Texas, they wanted us to be occupied and exhausted, so we... Whoa! Scramble! Alert! Alarm! Oh gosh. 3 attacking at it, small ones. I need to remember to build a siren. Alarm! Whoop. I think we're gonna actually get some planes in the sky today before the attack. Come on, get out there. Good. Scramble them. So we got one. Now it's up to the Bofors. What do we got on the turret? We got Neville Gallagher, we got Reginald Irving, and Gerald Williams. Oh my gosh! The damage! What have you done? I think we were able to get the dive bomber out at least. It looks like the damage is minimal. We probably got a little bit of stuff. Alright, let's fast forward. Okay, alarm is out. Good. Yeah. And bore is a subjective term. I would be all for it. Like, I love this kind of stuff. I love talking about the little things. I'm the guy that, like, I go to the museum and I'm the one that reads all the placards. Unless I'm with my buddy. I've never seen, oh my gosh, this guy. He goes in every museum. He looks at every exhibit in the entire building while walking. Anything he can not see while walking past it, he's not interested in. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We had like this big giant exhibit as a Meissen, as a porcelain factory. It's the only porcelain, or the only China grade porcelain outside of China, I think. And yeah, he just walked through the entire exhibit, and I'm like, you're not even looking at like the craftsmanship and like the fine detail work. And he's like, no, I see it, it's cool. I'm like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the British Museum. They're giving a lot of the artifacts back, I heard. Which, is okay. That's not bad. Okay, we need... what do we need here? Machinery. That's good. I need to build you guys some entertainment. I'm so sorry. I know. But you guys are doing good. You don't need entertainment. You got chairs and stuff. Refuel. Perfect. Light bomb interception. I'm going to keep you home. 85%, we're going to have to be able to do that. Designation. This is also new. Before the designations were... all the same. Does it actually have a designation on the tail? Or yeah, MJ321? No. 21OH? Well, not O, but yeah. But that's fine, that's cool. Okay, yeah. And I see a lot of museums doing like digital work on that. That's actually really cool. Where you can see their inventory on the inside. Look at this guy. Is this Colland? Is this Colland right here? This might be Colland. Can I rename you? I might have to rename you. Malcolm? No. No, can't. Yeah, but this is me. This is what I do all day. This is, in a way, actually what you do in the aviation industry. It's called chair flying, right? Obviously, you don't have like a fanciful thing that you like whip back and forth, but what you do is you prepare for a flight when you sit in a chair, you imagine or you print out your dashboard in front of you, and you have your checklists, and you go through your checklists, you go through your nav points, you go through all the procedures and all that other stuff, and that's how you kind of familiarize yourself with it. And yeah, that's fantastic. That's great. And what it does, it doesn't help you in the actual flying, but it helps you in the procedure. And in the critical phases of flight, like your takeoff and your ascent to your descent and your landing, those are your most task saturated things. You gotta look at your instruments, you gotta make sure your radio frequencies you're switching through, you're talking to different people all the time, you're making sure you're on the right nav points. This is usually when the air traffic controller messes up your sequencing, where, you know, your plan is you fly out straight, and then at like a certain navigational point you go onto a certain it's like there's what do you call them, airways. There's certain routes that you go, so the traffic is organized when you're flying with instrument flight plans. And then air traffic control is like, fly heading 150, and we'll move you. And then you gotta do all the things, and you gotta fly a different direction. Now you gotta set all the new nav points, and then they're like, yeah, they're gonna vector you around, and they're like, oh yeah, we gotta get you out of the way. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. That's cool. I mean, that's somewhat similar to what I'm doing. I just got into the School of Aeronautics at Liberty University out in Virginia. And I am pursuing, right now, I'm in my senior year in my bachelor's in aviation management. And as soon as I finish that, I am going to go into my master's in aviation safety. I don't know if I'm feeling motivated enough to go into a doctorate program. And I want to see what the German side of things is as well. The Germans have, in their eternal wisdom, decided that although I took 5 years of university in America, I haven't reached university level schooling, so I'm not allowed to go to German universities. I'd have to get my Abitur, which is like a high school diploma. But that's hard. I don't want to do it. Okay. We have 16. I want to hire 2 more people. We hire a cook. I shouldn't hire a medic. I don't know if medics are actually implemented in the game yet, so I'm going to wait for the next day. I'm a medic. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm super excited about. This is originally what happened is my bachelor's was in aeronautics, because I wanted to, it was a dual program to get your pilot's license as well as a bachelor's in aeronautics. But I broke my shoulder. I hurt my back, I broke my other shoulder, and some other stuff happened financially that I was no longer able to pursue becoming an airline pilot, and I'm 35 years old now, which isn't old by any shot, I understand that, but I'm pretty old for the Asian, aviation industry. Yeah. No, and I noticed that as well. If you're really passionate about a thing, like if I look at the early point of me pursuing my bachelor's, there was a couple courses that I just didn't care about. You have to do the elective, not the elective, the core courses. One was I think it was philosophy. I had to take a philosophy course. Like, what do I need a philosophy class for? And so with that, I didn't barely skate by. I did okay. I think I got like a B. That's fine. But in all the aviation courses, I've got like A pluses and all the things because they were very interesting, and I actually engaged in them. And I think that's kind of like what the university should be. In Germany, I think it's a little bit more focused because like the associate level classes are done in high school. So you're actually a lot more educated when you get Abitur. There's different kinds of schools in Germany as well. There's Realschule. Is Oberschule the same as a Realschule? Anyway, there's like 3 different ways. It's either, I think it's 8, 10, and 12 and or 13 years of school. I think that's how it goes. And if you do the full 12 to 13 years, that's when you go off into university. And if you only do like the 10-year one, or the 8-year, or is it 9-year? You can always do more schooling to get up to that level, and then you're not like locked in for life. So, yeah, it depends if you like school. Now, let me see. Do we have better crew? Yes. Field mechanics. And I want another engineer. Engineers are the guys that build things, I think. I wish there was a quick menu to... I don't need you right now. You're up here way too much. Yeah. Fun thing about aviation, right? I have a couple people that are afraid of heights, and they went to go fly with me, and it's actually so high that the fear of heights doesn't trigger, because you're not necessarily afraid of the height, you're afraid of the drop. Like if you're standing at like ladders and stuff like that, it's not the fact that you're so high, it's that you're standing somewhere and it goes down that far, you know? I guess, does that make sense? At least that's what psychology kind of told me. And that when you're so high up in the sky, I mean, I think 2,000 feet is like the minimum. 1,000 feet if you're not overpopulated area. It's so high that your brain doesn't recognize it as a realistic height to be afraid of. Now, there's a whole different story about like being afraid of flying, because you got the turbulence, and if you're a smaller plane, turbulence is, yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly. And that's such a weird thing, how the human mind is like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this particular thing in this configuration. But if you take me out of the situation and put me in a different one, I'm completely fine with it. Man. We've got the little windsock. So the way, these aren't marked. But obviously they tell you the direction of the wind. So once again, because of the flags, our runways should be left to right. They should be facing this way. And you will be taking off into this direction. So this points where the wind is going. And they have little marks. And that's why they're like painted like red and white and red and white. Every different color indicates how much faster the wind is going. I think it's like, is it 1 knot, 2 knots, 3 knots, 5 knots? It might be like 5, 10, something like that. But you can tell the wind speed by the windsock. Super technological stuff, way crazy stuff. I love it. There's a lot of like information that is given to you. Yeah, yeah, and a lot of the fighter jet, not fighter jets, but the fighters in the Second World War were still wooden planes, because they're just so light. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of nations didn't have access to a lot of aluminium and stuff like that. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, obviously not good that you fell out of off of a high thing. That's not what I meant, but okay. We got some intel working. That's fine. We need a second metal bench. And we're out of wood. Would you look at that? This is our little radio tower. And now, because we have our things, if we do the alarm, just kidding. Everybody's freaking out. Sorry. I'll wait for a legitimate alarm. Waiting on wood. Okay. Yeah. There was a big aviation disaster, with this is a couple of years ago, where a lightning hit one of the B-17s. I think it was in Texas. Yeah. My absolute dream job would be just a pilot. I would love to be an airline pilot specifically. Where that comes from is I have a specific airline that I love. It's Lufthansa. It's a German airline. I think their uniforms look so cool. The coloration, the blue with the Lufthansa yellow is really cool. They're going more into the silver, so but I like the yellow. And where that comes from is my parents divorced when I was very small, and I moved to the States, but my entire family was still in Germany. And my dad made my mom a promise that we got to see each other, my brother and I, as much as we could. So I flew to Germany every year, and every other Christmas I would fly to Germany as well. So I'd fly there once or twice. And this airline just was really good about taking care of me when I was a wee little lad running around. I was like 10 or 11, 12, unattended minor. And just that experience, that feeling of coming home, the atmosphere, and the whole way airports are. Airports are crazy if you think about it. You have millions and millions of people that go through these airports, and you hear of airport people or people in airports going a little bit crazy, but all in all the cultures, all the different ethnicities, they mesh really well. There's not a lot of conflicts there, and I think that airports are kind of like the hope of humanity. It sounds a little weird, but everybody's able to coexist peacefully at airports. That's a good question, Fluffy Bunny. Are pilots mostly for takeoffs and landings? The answer is no, because, matter of fact, airplanes can land themselves, and they can take off by themselves. If you have it's called a ILS Category 4, you need to have zero visibility to land the plane on the airplane, on the airfield, right? And the reason why you still have pilots is because computers aren't perfect, and they like to just stop, right? And you are there in case everything goes bad. That's kind of what the pilot is there for. Obviously, that's an understatement. Pilots do a lot of things. They do a lot of the radio chatter. They do a lot of things. For example, if I'm flying to New York from Frankfurt, right? And Frankfurt is hey, you're going to fly to New York. You have these and these things. The weather's this. Then you get up there, and the weather's actually a lot different. It changes. Or in New York, a plane pops a tire on the runway, and the runway is going to be closed for 2 hours. But you have another hour of fuel. Now you have to divert. You have to go into this other thing. And the more things go wrong that are unpredictable, the more you need that human experience, right? And there's certain situations where the computer knows too much, and for example, the autopilot, when there's a lot of bumpy wind, right? They can perfectly adjust these things, and you're flying through and they're making perfect adjustments, but it's just not gonna really get the plane to the ground the way you want it to. But a pilot with experience that knows how to ride it out, they're going to be able to make those small adjustments that might not make perfect mathematical sense, but they make sense in the real world kind of setting. And until the computers learn to think like that, there's always going to have to be a pilot. There's a comfort knowing that there's a human in the cockpit, because you're an ambassador for your airlines. You put your trust into that pilot to get you somewhere safe. And if you're flying a big plane like a A380 or a 747, you got like 700 people you're responsible for. So if you want to have that person be replaced by a computer, now that's 700 people that are like, I was trying to pull money out of my ATM, and that darn thing just would not work. And now the stupid thing is flying my airplane. I'm not going to get on that plane. That's madness, and you have to worry about hackers and all this other kind of stuff. And so that's why pilots are still relevant. And that's why it's absolute in the stupidest thing, in my opinion. This is my opinion only. They want to only have one pilot in there. You put one pilot in there, you have a 13-hour flight, that guy's going to fall asleep. You have, there's so much work. Interrupted. Again. 49 is not good, but 99 looks quite good. If he falls asleep, or if there's like CO2, carbon dioxide poisoning, or carbon monoxide poisoning, or anything goes wrong and that pilot is incapacitated, you got no redundancy. And aviation is all about redundancy. Like every single airplane that flies in commercial aviation, not passenger aviation, it has two engines. That plane can fly with one engine. Depending on what the configuration is, if you're in a 747 and you lose 3 engines out of the 4, you can still fly that plane. So that plane is going to not be able to maintain altitude, and it's going to get you from where you are to the nearest airfield. You're not going to be able to continue flying to your destination unless that's the closest airfield. But there's so much redundancy built into these systems that having a huge point of failure that is the human not be redundant is incredible. Yeah. You actually have, and for that long flights, you don't just have 3 pilots. You have 2, maybe even 3 flight crews. So you have a co-pilot, and so the co-pilot is called the first officer. The captain is the pilot, and you don't even really use those. You have your pilot flying and the pilot talking, I guess. One pilot handles flying the airplane, the other pilot handles navigation, talking, all that kind of stuff. It's not like, one pilot is checking on the other. They do have specific tasks what they're doing. So they actually have multiple crews. You generally have a crew that takes off and lands. So as soon as they get up into the cruise altitude, they switch out. You've got the pilot doing the entire cruise flights. And that's usually how it goes. Not always. Different airlines have different things. A lot of like the Chinese airlines, they're a lot more brutal about their staffing, and they work their pilots really, really hard, which is an interesting way to get a lot of experience, but in my opinion, not the safest way. But it is what it is. We have different acceptabilities or acceptable risks that we are able to take, and so be it. And apparently it's working for them to a certain degree. And who are we to say that our system is better than the other? We need so much more sand. Yeah, thank you for indulging my aviation rant. If you have a 14-hour flight, by law, you cannot fly like the next day. You have to have, I think, a minimum of 48 to 72 hours of rest before you go into another flight like that. So that's why a lot of the pilots have really long and nice layovers. Like everybody wants to do that long distance flight because you spend a lot of time, which can be good, like if you fly from, I'm always going to say Frankfurt as a point of origin, to like Japan, to Tokyo, you got a free weeks of vacation in Tokyo. That's paid for by the company. They give you a hotel, they give you food. You're just chilling. You know, what an amazing job that is. But it could also be that you're like a cargo pilot and you fly like from let's say like Brazil to Anchorage, and you're up there in Anchorage. Um, yeah, yeah, and the a lot of the uniforms obviously originate from like the military kind of the dress uniforms and that the uh, air of professionalism that's maintained, which is important. You know, it's a lot about like projecting that confidence. We want 50. Oh God. I'm not scared. You're scared. Uh, so now that I can't become a pilot, or it is unlikely that I'm going to become a pilot, the second job that if I could get it, I would love to do would be an aircraft incident investigator. Those are the people that go after an airplane crashes and do like the airplane accident reports, or if there's like things that happen that are non-standard, like they call it runway incursions, where a plane rolls onto the runway without authorization. You kind of do that investigation thing. And what I love about the aviation industry is it's called a just culture. It's not about placing blame if something bad happens. Um, it's about trying to find a solution to not have that happen again without pointing the blame on somebody. How do pilots not get jet lag? They do. Um, and that's why that rule is that you can't fly like if you're doing like that one flight to Japan. That's one way. You've got 2 or 3 days where you are recuperating, and then you do the same trip back. So that's basically how it works. And there's always like tricks. Like some things work for others. What I like to do, and I don't know if it's superstition, but if I'm after a real long flight and I get to my hotel room or like I get home, I like to take my socks off. I like to take my shoes off, probably in the reverse order. So shoes off first and then socks. And I like to walk on carpet, and kind of like scrunch my toes, and it kind of grounds me. And I don't know, it's like a tactile reset almost. I'm a very tactile person. I like feeling things. And so that helps me kind of adjusting your sleep schedule. A lot of people like to sleep on flights. I don't sleep on flights because the exhaustion coming back then will let me kind of reset my circadian rhythm into the new time zone a little bit quicker if I don't sleep during the flight. And then there's like thousands of others. Is the music really loud? I'm just hearing it in my ear, and I imagine you guys can hear it too. Is that a little bit better? Air crashes are tough. Luckily they don't happen very often, and you end up doing a lot of boring investigations, like I said, like a guy rolls onto a runway, and he didn't have permission or stuff like that. Which is good. You want boring airline disasters. Or you don't want any disasters at all. You want incidents, not disasters. Okay. I said for so long that I'm going to build this doggone thing, but I got distracted. I'm going to build a little bunker. It's going to be made out of cement. And it is going to be dual purpose. I have not nearly enough. This is the first concrete building I'm building in this game. Oops. This actually looks kind of cool. It's like little arches. I'm going to leave it and see how it looks. And this is going to be our bunker. It's going to be a bunker and officers club. No, distract away. That's what it's all about. If I could legitimately, like, if I had enough people to talk to, I would literally just sit in the just chatting category and just talk about stuff with you guys all day long. I'd have like 16-hour streams. I'd probably get like my little blankie and a cup of tea or something. We do an impromptu cooking stream, or that would be the dream. I love interacting with you guys. That's the craziest thing. Yeah. And the thing that's sad about every crash when there's a World War II plane is it's one less. You know, the parts aren't being made again. It's hard to maintain. So if you have one that is flight worthy and it goes away, it's probably never getting fixed. So even minor accidents are usually relatively detrimental. Which makes sense because, you know, we're not building those planes anymore. We've moved on. And that's a little piece of history that's going to go away. That's like when they mothballed a lot of the fleet, you know. In modern day engagements, surface fleets are becoming less and less relevant because of airplanes and missile technology and all that other stuff. The United States is in a unique position where they need a relatively large surface fleet because they have so many carriers, right? And and they patrol the entire world. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. If that's good or bad, you know, I mean, that's up for you to interpret, but... 360 concrete. Yeah. And you know, especially with things... I know there's a guy that bought a 109, one of the Meta... Is it? BF 109s? Is that a Messerschmitt or is that a BMW? I can't remember. But he spends literally hundreds of thousands of dollars every year custom machining that stuff. Yeah. Same thing with the tanks. You know, a lot of the tanks were used for testing purposes. And, you know, I understand, you know, when you're in the contemporary age, when you're in, like, your current time frame, you don't really have that much thought of the future. You know, you're like, hey, these planes are going to be here forever. You know, we're just going to build new planes. But you don't think about that. Once they're gone, they're gone. What is the Confederate Air Force? If I, you know, I've never... Yeah. Take your time. Lurk away, whatever you need. We're lurk friendly here in stream. Exclamation lurk if you like. And if you're here and you love my randomly stumbling conversations, give me a follow. Give me a subscribe on YouTube, whatever you like. And yeah, you'll get more content. Content like just like this. And join my Discord. Exclamation Discord in chat will get you to my Discord. My information is on my info page on Twitch. I need to update my YouTube. I need to get a banner. That's the next step that I need to work on. Rebus is gonna always give me a hard time about it. So still haven't finished it. That's okay though. I am going to reduce the size of this field by half, and this one as well. Close to being done. Gotta get more sand. In my hand. More sand. Sand is the most hated object. I hate it. I'm like Anakin Skywalker in that regard. Sand, it's coarse. It gets everywhere. Next, I need another flak, and then we'll build some sand around it. Are you broken? No, you passed out at some point. Zero minutes ago. Let's save. Let's see if that little icon goes away. And we get fun music. And if you're still watching, and you haven't been, why don't you hydrate at home? Reverse hydrated, you guys. Here you go. Hydrate, chat. Pulled the Uno reverse card. Officer hostage rescue mission. Success rate of 0. Oh. Yes. You also call that sisomso. Reverse osmosis. Sisomso. Get it? Because it's osmosis spelled backwards? Marvelous. I know my humorous, or my humorous. You guys are really not able to do. You're collapsed? Are you tired or something? Where are you guys? Oh, you fell out of... You legitimately fell out. Are you... Are you okay now? 96 estimate. That's good. Okay. Get out of here. Yeah, range IV. Never pleasant. To administer or to receive. Okay, we're gonna build another wooden building. No. We're gonna make everything out of brick and should we? Okay, let's think about this. How big is the crew of a B-17? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we build rooms that have 16 places and a thing in the middle, that would be a good way to do it, I think. We're going to remove this a little bit more. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. pilot competition. We don't have any planes. We got planes, but they're probably going to be a little exhausted. So let me add another pair of these guys. Look at these guys. The buffoons running on the runway. Don't do that. You're super tired. $59, $59, $59. Can't be helped. Get out of here. You succeeded. I take back everything I said. Let us get a flak and cement. Then we can build a building over here. We can make it a brick. Five by 8 should be fine. Got a door. A door. Why not some windows? And a roof made out of brick as well. There you go. Yeah, let's build more buildings. Okay. How big are we? We are 15 by 7. So if we let's think about this. Let's angle it on this one. Let's go out 2 more. So we got 5 wide. So we got 1 set of 4, 2 set of 4. Should be 12. Right, so you got 4 plus 4 is 8. Then another 8 over here. And the middle is where we do the things. Actually, I don't want one door. Everybody goes out this way. These are going to be the airplanes. The pilot quarters. Because everybody knows that pilots live better than enlisted. Officers. Officers live better than enlisted. That's why Skate is trying to escape the enlisted ranks. He wants that extra officer per diem. Factory bombing run. I don't think we have bombs, do we? Nope. We will not be able to do this mission. Sorry, guys. Do I send my pilots into certain doom? I don't think so. But I could get a new airplane. And the new airplane could be... a Hawker Hurricane? 1 to 5? No. Gladiator? We could get a couple gladiators then. And then, what if we put the gladiators in? 27%. What if we add all our planes? 39%. That is all I can do. I can only do that. That is, we might have our first combat deaths. But that's what the War Office has said. Sorry, we gotta do it. Ooh. Scramble. We got our sirens. We need to actually add some people there. Nice. I hope our planes don't explode. Congratulations, Gate. For sure. That's huge news. Enjoy your paperwork. We failed our mission, but we saved our base. Medium fighter interception. We can't do it. Can we send these guys? No, we're low on ammo. Do we don't have any repair parts. That is definitely an oversight on my part. Where are repair parts? Electronics workshop. Must be placed indoors. Dang it. And we're out of wood. Colin. We got a couple repair parts. As soon as this is repaired. Nope, we gotta launch. Let's see if we can get them in time. That was close. All right, let's build a radio. Because that's what they want me to do. Nice, nice. Good. Even a brick roof, and now what we can store over here is gonna be the military stuff. That's gonna be fuel. It's gonna be repair parts and bombs, which I now want stricken out of this. Repair parts, this, and fuel. There you go. Low water stock. Get more water. I have miscalculated. Because that's 6. Got 6. Four here, and then 5 more. Look at that. And now the roof. Yeah, this looks a lot. This looks a lot more like it. Maybe we're out of wood, right? Yeah. Which means I need to chop down some more trees. I wish there was a way to, like, filter out, like, I don't want to chop these other things. I just want the trees, I guess, and this. But I don't want, like, I don't need the food. I've got more than enough food. Be much nicer if you could just do like a harvest only wood option. Alrighty. So, can we reassign our pilots? That is a question. Do we want to? Because that places them further away from the airfield. Maybe these are the bigger pilots over here. We can build a secondary barracks for the fighter pilots. And let's build another one of these. Because we can. Let me bring in a ton of this stuff. Some more repair parts. For today at least. Are we not properly stored? No, it's just because it's food. That's fine. Do we get enough food? I don't think we do. I might. First off, why are there like no tarps under here? That just don't make no sense. Medium bomb interceptor we can probably do. Oha! And we will have our roof complete in just a second. Nice successful mission. Now we're going to do a safety zone. So close. Oh no. Yeah. And now, we can put some items in here. Like hangers. Big ol' rugs. And a wooden floor. Planning board. Perfect. Artillery spotted. Send it. We are out of sand again. Oh, goodness. I don't have any luxury goods. Luxury goods are produced. Herb dryers. Which need to be outside. Oh gosh. I am hitting a wall of fatigue all of a sudden. I think I'm going to stream for another 10 minutes or so and head out at 8:30. Because I can feel myself not talking anymore. And that's boring for you guys. So I don't need to bore you guys to sleep because I'm falling asleep myself. Birthday mission. I hate this mission. This is the worst mission ever. Get out of here. You two. Alright. We're going to finish up the buildings though. That's for sure. We got our pilots training with fire. Oh, successful mission. Nice. Right here. I'll build 4 more slots. You can only have a certain amount of airplanes, I think. What is this? 4, 12, 24 airplanes total? Something like that. Oh, doesn't that look nice? And I'm sure I'm about to run out of logs. Yep. Roof's all steamboat. Can we get another? We can not get them. Yeah. I want to get. So what do we got? We got 26 to 55, up to 60 bombing, short Sterling. Might be better. But for that, we need concrete thing. We got 116 light fighters. Go get him, champ. Another job well done. Tremendous. Officer lounge is taking a look. We can make some herbs. Do we have herbs? No, they dried out. We've got some here. I can't remember if these respawn or not. We'll have to see. Scramble the planes! Get out of here! It is time to fly. Oh gosh. We're gonna miss that bomb interception again. But we got one left. And he exploded. What is that? That's crazy. I built this too little. Should be a 12 by. How big are you? 5 by 16, but it should be a 7. So, can I do that in a smart way? I don't think so. Yeah, I'll just leave it. I might change it onto a different building. Could make things well, could make it into a kitchen. And then build everything out of brick instead. Because brick probably holds off bombs better than the wood does. That's it's kind of cool. At the same time, it's sad that I built this, because you know, they can eat at a table, but they're gonna sit outside on these benches instead. It's fine, you know. I can't complain. Can't complain. I think it's love trying to sing to you when I feel blue. Scorpions. Can't explain. Great song. tank bombing. That'll have to do. This area here. I'll turn into the little graveyard. I don't think we've had any deaths yet, but just in case we do, might as well get prepared. We're in work. We have no more work left. This is good news in theory. Understood. Let us begin. Let's bring this up to a hundo and build an actual proper building this time. 3, and this is 7 by 16. And I want wooden floors. I don't want that. I hate it. Cancel all of that. Okay. Wooden floors here. We need some doors. We might as well do doors like this. And we need some windows. Because these are ossifers. The ossifers always want windows. That is not correct. Dang it. And to guter letzt, we need... What if we use a concrete roof? I said, what if we use a concrete roof? That should keep bombs from falling onto them. Yeah, but I am starting to fade very, very quick. I'm sorry. I was hoping to make it a little bit longer, but I got to get up at, again, an early time. I'm going to a medical, how do you say? We're providing medical coverage for a like a runathon where you run laps and you donate to charity. And for whatever reason, I decided that I'm going to volunteer and kind of run the medical section of that. So I got to get up early in the morning again. I'm so super exhausted. I'm sorry. But Sunday, I am going to make the full stream. I promise you that. No worries. And I'm not 100% sure yet what I want to do on Sunday. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a vintage story. I've got an itch and I want to scratch it. And I think winter is coming sooner than later, and we may not survive the winter. But yeah, with that, I want to wish you guys an absolute wonderful evening, a great rest of the day. Skate, you're out doing your things. Congratulations that you got accepted to the nursing program. everybody else, thanks for the conversations. Thanks for the bits and the chats. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. And with that, I will see you Sunday. Goodbye.